Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Qrvey webinar. 2025 is the year of multi-tenant analytics. We're so glad that you could join us today, and we look forward to getting this show on the road. Today, we're going to talk about, first of all, why SaaS companies have different needs for analytics. Our presenter, David Abramson, our Chief Technology Officer at Qrvey, will also share the blueprint for multi-tenant analytics success. And this is based on the work that we've been doing with our clients. And lastly, we'll also talk about the path to monetizing your multi-tenant analytics. So let me first introduce David Abramson. He is the CTO here at Qrvey. He drives the technical direction of the Qrvey platform, and he plays a leading role working with our customers and helping SaaS providers expand their products and create value from all of their data with embedded analytics, automation, and self-service data collection. David has over 20 years experience in full lifecycle product development and management, from product inception all the way through general availability. And he works with clients to help shepherd data-driven custom applications, analytics, and business intelligence products to market. So without further ado, welcome, David. Take it over.
Perfect. Thanks. And welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us on today's webinar. I'm really excited to start talking about your analytics journey for 2025. And I think, like everybody in sort of the SaaS space with a product, it all kind of starts with data, right? And analytics allows us to generate value from that data, whether it's creating a more complete version of our products or even just satisfying all of the key requirements that customers keep coming to you with to help them better get more value out of the data through the analytics. That's what we're going to be focusing on and talking about today, how you can achieve that, particularly through this year. And of course, as a SaaS company, there's a lot of pressures to delivering product, and in order to stay competitive and to keep customers happy, you need to be able to do things quickly, and you need to be able to react very, very fast when it comes to market trends, or particularly when it comes to customer demands and customer needs and requirements. On the analytics side of things, obviously the data picture isn't slowing down anytime soon. Data is growing even more at an exponential rate than it ever has in the past. And therefore, all of the ways that we can leverage that data, whether it's customer requirements, ways that we can deliver a better experience around data and analytics, or our competitors that are putting pressure on us to deliver a more complete product, or maybe we just want to build new revenue streams. We have to do that quickly, and we have to be able to get these capabilities and new features out to the market really as fast as possible to stay competitive and to grow as a SaaS business. So I don't think saying why we need to invest in analytics is anything new, but obviously there's a lot of opportunities that analytics can create for us as SaaS companies. We've already mentioned revenue a couple of times, but the ability to take data and create, whether it's new product tiers, new modules, premium capabilities, or even expanding services, professional services, and other types of work, gives us some great opportunities to leverage a key investment in analytics to improve our product overall experiences. And of course, we've talked about things like the competitive pressures from the outside, whether it's customer competition or other products or market forces driving us, being able to take data and invest in an analytics use case that allows us to differentiate our product. Not only helps us to generate revenue, but it gives us a way to certainly improve our products in a meaningful way and overall satisfy the needs of our customers, whose needs obviously continue to change and evolve over time. Now, with analytics, a lot of times you think, hey, this is about getting reports in the hands of users or data in the hands of users, but it goes well beyond that when it comes to satisfying the needs of complicated SaaS multi-tenant application environments. So multi-tenancy is kind of an overarching theme that we're going to be talking a lot about, and why it's so different from just kind of basic reporting tools or other tools that exist in the market. And that's because, tenants or customers have their own unique requirements and needs, whether it's security related or data related, being able to take into account all of their different data requirements and data structures and data needs. Or maybe it's really just about scaling and security and performance and getting the data and the analysis in the hands of the right types of users with the right amount of capabilities and the right amount of performance and the right growth and sort of control over that experience that you want to offer. So as soon as you introduce kind of these multi-tenant concepts, everything becomes a little bit more robust and a little bit more difficult to match and to manage when it comes to a successful implementation. The other thing that's really important about analytics, the analytics journey, is thinking about how you can use that to differentiate your products. We talk about use cases a lot when it comes to kind of data and analytics. And of course, a lot of people get focused on the sort of baseline use cases of reports and dashboards. But it's not just about getting reports and dashboards in front of customers. It's about providing self-service capabilities so that customers can really do a lot on their own. It's about creating meaningful value out of data that's not just in the form of a dashboard or visualization, but actually providing data as a service so that users can better understand and interact and maybe take that data into other tools or other integrations. It's about modernization, introducing new capabilities, whether those be updating environments or introducing AI features or similar types of capabilities, but really taking older technologies and bringing them forward into the future. And then, of course, satisfying all of the requirements around whether it's gathering additional data or automating around that data. The variety of use cases that you can tackle through a successful analytics strategy are really very diverse and offer a lot of interesting opportunities moving forward into the future. But one thing I will also kind of highlight is in this multi-tenant space, you might hear a lot about embedded analytics. I'm going to draw a distinct line between multi-tenant and embedded because they really aren't the same thing. When you think about business intelligence as a whole and the use cases around business intelligence, you're probably familiar with a lot of more traditional business analytics or BI tools, the likes of a Tableau or a Power BI or similar types of tools. These are great tools for that more traditional BI use case where you're an organization and you want to be able to understand how data is impacting your organization through analysis. And those tools are great at doing that. Some of those tools have extended their capabilities with some embedded options, which allow you to sort of plug those outcomes into some other capabilities and some other tools and some other integrations. But for a SaaS business, it really has to go well beyond that. SaaS companies have to meet the needs of their customers. It's not an internal use case. It's about satisfying the needs of the external facing customer. And so multi-tenant analytics is really designed with that singular focus of helping SaaS companies meet the needs of those external customers by offering those users the right types of analytical capabilities, fully integrated and built in as part of your application ecosystem and architecture. And so it's really about taking what used to be historically a very internal use case and extending that to a variety of your external customers, fully integrated as part of your overall product and experience for those customers. And as a SaaS provider, you have a lot of different requirements that can't be satisfied by those traditional business intelligence tools. Those tools were largely, again, designed for internal use, managed by kind of the IT teams within those organizations, supporting maybe some different users and different roles within that organization, but ultimately for a single tenant, that business. And it came with a cost and licensing and all of these different things. With multi-tenant analytics, we're not even looking at it from the sort of internal business perspective. This is all about product. How do you make your products better? How do you create more value for your external customers? And how do you support all of your different tenants and all of those different external and potentially unlimited numbers of users as you grow more and more users using your products every day? You have to have tools that can not only scale to support that, but also have meaningful capabilities to support that. And then ultimately, the key goal here is using your products to generate revenue. We're not just spending money on analysis tools. We're actually using these tools to generate meaningful revenue for your SaaS product and for your SaaS business. And so these are very different use cases, very different types of requirements that we're talking about. And last, just key point here is it's a totally different audience, right? Multi-tenant analytics, we're talking about product people like yourselves. You own a product, you're building product features. You're not working for an internal analysis or as a data analyst internally inside your own organization. This is about giving data and analysis tools to the customers of your applications, who, of course, are going to be different organizations, different businesses of their own, in different companies. So again, different use case, different audience, different needs, and of course, different pains and different challenges that come with all of that. As a product team, you have to be worried about how's it going to scale. I've got a lot of users. I've got a lot of different types of customers. I've got a lot of different tenants. I need to make sure that whatever I do from an analytics perspective is going to scale effectively to satisfy those data volumes and the use cases that we're covering. From a security standpoint, it's not just about internal security controls. It's about external security controls. And I need each tenant potentially to have their own different types of users and different data point access and different requirements around their data. And that creates a lot of complexity, right? It's not just about one type of data and one type of user and one type of customer. It's about all of these different customers coming into your product, working with their data. Maybe they want to augment that data with something else. Maybe you need to leverage other types of technologies and tools such as AI and machine learning to get more value out of that data. And so as a SaaS company, understanding that this is a different use case, a different type of pain, a different type of requirement, all of that comes into play when it comes to mapping out and planning a successful analytics strategy, which is what we're going to talk about now. So what does a successful multi-tenant analytic strategy actually look like? And then how do we get there in 2025? So, of course, the key is building the right type of plan. And with a plan, obviously, timing is really critical. So the earlier you can start, obviously, the better. And then, of course, building upon that to deliver the right types of capabilities and features to your customers. So again, the earlier you get started, if you can start planning that 2025 go to market now, obviously the faster and sooner you're going to be able to start generating some meaningful revenue from the analytics that you're deploying inside your product. But thinking beyond just the revenue goals, what about satisfying customer requirements and customer needs? So self-service now plays a huge role in making customers happy, keeping them engaged, and giving them the right types of capabilities. And this is all about, again, the multi-tenant use case, whether it's multi-tenant security or data. Everybody's going to have slightly different requirements. And in order to satisfy those requirements, you could try to address those one by one, but you're going to go out of business trying to satisfy every single customer requirement one at a time. This is where self-service comes into play, putting the capabilities in the hands of the customers to give them the power to sort of do their own things, build their own content, collaborate and share and develop their own outcomes. Really, really important. Last thing I'll also mention is we're in a time starting now where technology is rapidly evolving, particularly around how users engage with data. More and more people are starting to work with whether it's Gen AI services or tools to wrap their heads around how the data makes sense and is meaningful. And as the data continues to grow and evolve, the demands coming from end users for those same types of capabilities are going to continue to build and be part of what you need to do to deliver a successful set of outcomes to your customers. So all of this, keeping in mind, starts your plan to delivering success in 2025. Now, this is just kind of an example of a path to that timeline and how you can deliver a successful analytics project over the next several months. Obviously, everything starts with kind of the proof of concept. So what do you need to do to sort of build consensus, internal stakeholders, to bringing an onboard model that makes sense for not only your team internally, but for your external customers, to launching that MVP. Now, what you'll notice about this timeline is we're talking about weeks, not months or years. And so in order to be very successful in 2025, you can actually get started really, really quickly and be generating meaningful revenue, as early as, at this point, we could say as early as Q1 in 2025, given that in a lot of cases, you can get to launch, at least of an MVP, with maybe a limited tenant rollout in just a few weeks. And so the idea here is, where do you want to get to? And then how do you build the right steps to get there successfully for your 2025 analytics roadmap plan? Well, one of the keys that we found to be incredibly important is what we like to refer to as a phased delivery. So how do you figure out what features get wrapped into which phases and then get launched out to customers? So, there's a POC phase, which I mentioned, which is all about deciding how to create and build the initial consensus around the baseline capabilities and what you're trying to achieve when it comes to successful analytic outputs for your customers. And then what's kind of the minimally viable set of outcomes that you need to deliver that first version, that MVP. And as part of this, obviously, feedback is going to be really, really important. And so being able to create meaningful demo assets and then generating meaningful feedback, both from internal stakeholders and external customer stakeholders, is going to help you map those correct phases for that delivery. And ultimately, one of the goals that we like to shoot for is getting to that full self-service experience. So those future phases beyond that POC and MVP has to have those defining features, whether it's the self-service feature or whether it's an automation feature or whether it's an AI or Gen AI feature. They should be incrementally adding those defining components and modules and value, and should be significantly less time to develop than your original MVP phase, and is actually going to give you new opportunities to get better capabilities in front of your customers and maybe even add additional new revenue streams as part of those future steps and future phases that you're going to be building out as part of your analytics offering. So, what are some of those features? I already mentioned a handful, but obviously full self-service is going to be really important, and that can mean a lot of different things. And we'll talk about some of the concepts around monetizing that in a little bit here. But other features that can be part of that successful phase rollout would be more of the sharing and collaboration automation capabilities. And then, of course, more of the sort of generative AI types of capabilities to support not just the customer use cases, but around the data and the developers who need to take advantage of those key capabilities in your analytics strategy that's part of your overall product offering. But with those phases, one of the most important aspects of delivering success is the iteration and the opportunities to innovate through that iteration. So everything starts with creating kind of that original phase, POC, MVP, and then getting in front of customers so that you can analyze and get that feedback to understand what's working, what isn't working, create engagement, create value, and then build on top of that. Add new features, create the right user experiences, and then iterate through the cycle again. And all of this helps you deliver not just quickly but also new modules and new opportunities to potentially generate additional revenue on top of your existing initial offerings or MVP offerings for your analytics stack. So there is a lot of benefit in creating not just the right phased plan, but then iterating through that to create kind of that loop of feedback and engagement with the right stakeholders within your organization. So let's talk a little bit now about what it means to monetize those phases and that multi-tenant analytic approach. Obviously, it starts with the sort of the demo asset. One of the things we like to encourage as part of this process is to start with kind of a fully integrated core set of demo assets that you can use to generate interest and excitement within the customer base. A lot of that allows you to not only put sort of ideas and features in front of customers, but it also helps you figure out how this is going to sell and how this is going to be easily monetized into the product. So that demo asset has multiple functions. It's to essentially get people interested and excited about the features and capabilities that are coming, but it's also to help better understand how we're going to ultimately monetize these capabilities within the product, because we can break it down into the key functional areas that are meaningful for us. The next phase can go a couple different ways. You can go down the path of, kind of that full sort of dashboard reporting experience, or you can start iterating around the data more directly. One of the things that we like to approach sort of an analytics experience with is just getting the data in the hands of the user through what we like to refer to as interactive data views. These can be fully integrated views across all of the different data outputs and data assets that you would have. And by giving users the interactions that they want, basically you're allowing them to explore the data on their own, creating maybe customized data fields, customized data buckets, filters, exports, all the things that they need to explore and work with the data. Gives you a great opportunity to start getting data in the hands of the users extremely quickly. And so as a phase, this can be a crucial step in figuring out how you get data in the hands of users fast. And then you can iterate from there to understand, okay, what data is more meaningful? What data can I further add value through monetization? What data can I add value through things like the dashboard and visual output use cases, which can then be more of the phase 3 process, right? Take the data that's most valuable and create that baseline set of visual outcomes that users can also further customize, but it gives them the right types of functionality, drilling, filtering, going from dashboard to dashboard, connecting the dots, creating exports, adding maybe some of their own visuals on top of the dashboard UIs. All of these add incremental value to the data and to the analytics experience that you can offer to your customers, and make a great opportunity for an additional phase of module that you can offer to your customers as part of the analytics experience within your product system. Phase 4 here, I've talked about this concept of full self-service. So what we're talking about here is really giving the power to the customer to basically do what they need to do within the environment. So again, when it comes to the overall picture of your analytics value within your product, you want to make sure users stay engaged. You want to make sure that they're getting access to the data that they want. And you want to make sure that they're not just taking that data and going somewhere else and using it in some other types of tools, because the longer they stay in your product, obviously, the more value you're bringing to them, and the more opportunities now exist for additional modules and additional capabilities and features. So what does full self-service enable? Well, it allows customers to create their own content. It allows them to build their own custom dashboards and data visualizations. It maybe even allows them to build their own data assets, maybe even connect some of their own data into the mix. And so there's a lot of opportunities here through that full self-service experience to give customers the right types of value and monetize that value in a highly, highly meaningful way as part of the overall analytics experience within your product. And the last phase I'm just going to quickly touch on here is going beyond just kind of the standard analytics outcomes of dashboards, reports, and data views, and creating more customizable data alerts and workflows. So how do you go from users having to log in to see what's changed, how their metrics are tracking, if something's going down or going up, right? The traditional way of doing that was log in and see what's happening in the dashboard that's been created. With customizable alerts and workflows, you can now create business rules that even take action on the insights that are gleaned from the analytics without the user having to log in and actually view those insights directly. If my metric is dropping, set up an alert or workflow that does something about that. If the amount of data has changed in some meaningful way, all of a sudden now I can set up alerts and workflows to do that. And with a full self-service experience, giving this power to the end customer externally is also something that's possible. So now not just creating those alerts and workflows for internal design and consumption, it's all about how do you provide these to the customer so they can take advantage of them and then build real value around what it means to create that full self-service experience within your product. So it's all about those phases. We talked about the phased approach. It's all about creating the right types of value within each phase. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how Qrvey helps. So Qrvey as an organization, we built our entire company around helping software product teams deliver the right types of analytic value within their software product offer. So the problem that we're solving is not about internal data and analytics use case. It's about how do you solve the problem of secure multi-tenant analytics for your external customer. And so 100% focused on solving this problem and helping our customers achieve the right types of outcomes when it comes to analytics inside of their SaaS product. Now, we talked about the timing is everything. And obviously, one of the most important advantages that working with tools like Qrvey offer is that extremely fast time to market. You saw the timeline that I shared when it comes to those phase approaches. We're talking about getting in front of customers and even monetizing the capabilities, those different phases that you're putting in front of customers in weeks. We're not talking about months or years. And so the time it takes to integrate obviously saves you a ton of time. Now, why does it save you a ton of time? Well, one, it also reduces costs. So with Qrvey, again, we look at the whole picture. It's not just about licensing specific tools. It's about the infrastructure required to match the scale and the data requirements and all of the different use case requirements. And what we found is the reduction in costs is not just about cost savings, it's also about time savings as well, because the amount of different utilities and tools that go into creating a successful SaaS analytic implementation, it's pretty big. This is actually a good illustration of what it would take to do this 100% without Qrvey versus what it looks like when you introduce something like Qrvey into the picture. So with any analytics project, you're obviously going to need your visualizations, whether that's a charting library, reporting library, or some other set of tools. You're going to need the integration. So you're going to need the APIs to integrate to the front-end tools and the web application technology stack that you're working with. But you're also going to need the data warehouse, the analytic optimized data structures, the entitlements in the semantic layer to map to all of those unique tenant requirements that you have across all of your different customers. So this is a pretty big investment, not just in terms of infrastructure resources, but also in terms of time and overall, number of developers and other folks that are going to be working on this initiative. I contrast that with what Qrvey has, and it's an entire layer as a package. So you're going to get that analytic optimized data lake built in. You're going to get the semantic layer and the multi-tenant entitlements layer baked into that structure. And you're going to get all of the front-end integrated tools and APIs for integration into your comprehensive UIs. So all of that comes together, and really that's the reason why you can get to market with those different phases We're talking weeks instead of months or years when it comes to launching the capabilities around Qrvey. The other really kind of driver for success with a true multi-tenant solution is the fact that the technology stack around Qrvey is a fully deployed solution. We don't host this for our customers. You're not sending data externally. You're not sending all of your tenant logic and security and all the user information somewhere else. It's all fully integrated. It's deployed into your stack. It matches your release cycle. It matches your software development life cycle. And so the fact that it is deployed and running in your own environment gives you not just the flexibility, but the comfort of knowing that it's completely integrated and scalable inside of your existing product solutions and becomes part of your overall product offering that you can then decide how you're going to roll that out, update it, manage it, and deliver it seamlessly to your customers. And that analytics layer is complete. Like I said, it does contain all of those tools for managing data coming from any different types of data structures and sources. It has all of the built-in logic for handling the tenant rules, the semantic logic for managing, different tenant information and different tenant security layers. It has all of the APIs and JavaScript and front-end tools to integrate directly into your application frameworks. And so all that's baked into what you get with the package for delivering a successful analytics project through Qrvey. So all of this packaged up together helps you achieve all of those different phased rollouts and outputs when it comes to successful analytics story. And the way it works is it's fully modular, right? So all of the technology in Qrvey offers the ability to modularize and put it in front of customers in a meaningful way. So it's all designed to be fully external facing, fully modular, so you can craft the right types of phased rollouts for your customers that make sense, not just for customer use cases and feature sets, but for creating the right types of monetization strategies around the data, the dashboards, the UI, the visualizations, the automation capabilities, the actionable tools in the analytics stack. All of that gives you that ability to craft the exact right types of phased approach and the right types of modules that you can easily monetize for your customers in the external facing analytics experience. And I'm just going to kind of wrap it up here with self-service being kind of the key. So when you create the right type of self-service experience, it helps you deploy not just a stickier product, but to create the right types of tenant-specific value for your customers within their application experience of your overall product UI. So it's all about getting to that end goal of kind of the full self-service experience for analytics for end users within your application UIs. All right. So I'm just going to end here now, talk a little bit about what we feel are some great next steps for launching your analytics journey to get started for 2025. So if you want to learn a little bit more about working with Qrvey, we encourage you to sign up for a custom demo. As part of that, we're offering some really great opportunities. One is a free analytics assessment where our experts will actually go in and review what sorts of capabilities you might have today and provide a set of recommendations for where we see you can add value and build additional capabilities into your analytic offering inside of your product. Or the other opportunity is to engage with us on a free roadmap guide for analytics. This is all about understanding what are the right phased modules that you can roll out. How do you build out the right plan for future features? And how do you then map that to the appropriate types of timelines and launch planning? So two great opportunities to engage with the Qrvey team. And we encourage you to get started as quickly as possible, because the sooner you can start engaging with your customers on the analytics front, the sooner not only you can continue to satisfy their requirements, but also start understanding opportunities for monetization around analytics within your overall product offering. All right. So thanks again, everyone, for participating in today's webinar. Reach out, find us online, and let us know how we can assist you in your analytic journey.